As our former Prime Minister once said, you will know the real man by how he finishes, not how he starts. It might work in politics, however, in public speaking, the both are crucial, openings and conclusion. And in my opinion, openings are even more important. Because if you delivered great speech with poor conclusion, people still gonna remember it. That was a good speech, but conclusion was not so great. However, if your opening is poor, you wouldn't have that chance, because after poor opening, the people just stop listening to you, won't be interested. So tonight I'm gonna present you what are the two main objectives of opening, and present you also with few ways how to successfully open your speech. So basically, speech opening has two main goals. First is to get attention, so that people forget about their things that they're on their minds and start and focus on you and your presentation. Another thing is to introduce your subject, because if people know what you're going to be talking about, if they're interested, they will be more focused and more willing to listen what you have to say, if that's their interest, if they have value in it, if they benefit from what you're saying. So now, as we know what are the goals of opening, let's discuss few most well-known ways how to open your speech. The first is quote. This is very easy and effective way to open your speech. I started my speech tonight with quotation. It's fairly easy because it's easy to find quotation, some interesting quotation on any subject on the internet. So it is a very good way to grab attention and also introduce your subject. Another way is question. Question is also a fairly easy way to open your speech, to grab attention. You can do it in two ways. You can ask a rhetorical question. In my speech about opening your speech, I could say, what do you think is the most crucial part of the speech? Do you think opening is important? And then move on. You can also use the question, but expect audience to answer and also engage them, so that your audience would be more interested. Let's say, who of you think that opening is the most crucial part of the speech? Raise your hand. Yes. So that's the other way. Third way is strong statement. It's a very direct way. You don't try to get attention in some clever way. Just you start with directly what you're going to say. Like, the opening is the most crucial part of the speech. To have successful speech, you need to open in a good way. And now in my speech I will discuss it. So that would be the way. Another is anecdote. You can tell a story, an anecdote, or a joke to introduce your subject and also get audience attention. However, as far as Toastmasters speeches are concerned, when their usual timing is 5 to 7 minutes, I would not recommend it, because you can find a short quote or a question, but I think it's difficult to find an anecdote that's like 30 seconds. However, anecdote or story would be a great way to open when you have more time. For example, when you're preparing a workshop that lasts like 2 hours, you can start with 5-minute story as an introduction. Next is to open with fear, startling your audience. I would not recommend it, I don't like it, but some use it, like media use it very often. Shows like Uwaga, Interwencja, or newspapers use this way to get attention. These titles like crisis, depression, war, death, and so on. I don't like it, I don't recommend it. However, as when the goal is to get attention, it will get attention. But I think it's better to focus on some positive aspects and move into this direction. And finally, the sixth way to successfully open your speech is to arouse curiosity. It's like completely different than in strong statement. In strong statement, you say directly what you're going to talk about, and in this sixth way, you try to get attention and make people curious, in being indirect, like talking about something completely different. It might work well, however, it's a risky strategy, because sometimes if you overdo it, people get confused and they will lose interest completely. Like when in my speech about opening, I could open it with, do you know why before dinner, main course, they serve starters? Or something like that. And people like maybe thinking, well, I'm going to talk about dining, or restaurants, or something like that. And then finally move to introducing what's your real subject. However, as I said, it's a risky strategy. It might work well. However, I would recommend it for more advanced speaker. So to conclude, we've discussed few ways how to successfully open your speech. There are easy, basic way like question or quotation that you can use almost any time in any speech. You can find some interesting quotations on the internet. So you get people's attention and then introduce your subject so that they will listen to you. I think that one of the best way to open is to, but it's sometimes difficult, is to start with this curiosity, so you like reveal something, but not too much. I like to compare it, opening speech, to a cleavage, which is not a pudding, but a décolletage of women. So it should reveal just about enough to get interest, but however, not too much. So that, because if you reveal too much, you will get interest, but you will lose it as fast as you got it. So reveal just enough to get attention, but leave something for later, for dessert. Thank you.